a threatened war. In 1963, he visited many lands. The book of his travels opened at the end of September, when he left his native Africa and the oldest of its lands to fly to the New World, to the United States of America. Washington awaited his coming. The land of Lincoln and all the power which it contains was his to command. Ever since the days of his dignified resistance to the fascist powers, his name has been a legend. And now preparations were made to honor him. President and Mrs. Kennedy were at the station as the train arrived. The young president greeted him. The man who, in his early 40s, had been called to lead the most powerful nation on earth, paid tribute to the emperor who had set an example to the world by his courage in the face of adversity and his single-minded determination to rebuild his land and set it on the road to progress once more. America wanted to greet the emperor, and on behalf of the people, the president welcomed him with these words.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know I speak in behalf of all of my fellow Americans in welcoming His Imperial Majesty back to the United States. In welcoming His Majesty, we honor not only a distinguished leader of his country and a distinguished world figure, but we also welcome a man whose place in history is already assured. His memorable and distinctive appearance before the League of Nations in the mid-30s, which so stirred the conscience of the world, that appearance was supported prior to that by action and has been supported in its high hopes by the consistent support which His Imperial Majesty has given to those efforts since the end of the Second War to associate three nations together in common enterprises. Support to the effort in Korea, the support of the most recent effort in the Congo, the strong support he has given to the United Nations, and perhaps most celebrated of all, his leadership in building a community of free and independent states in Africa. Since His Majesty visited the United States nearly a decade ago, we have seen one of the most extraordinary revolutions in history. And that has been the appearance on the world scene of 29 independent countries in the short space of less than 10 years, including over 150 million people. The conference recently held in His Majesty's capital served, I think, to bring together in a great cooperative movement the people of most of these countries. And the success of that conference was due in no small part to the leadership of our distinguished guest. Therefore, for what he has done in his own country, his efforts to move his country forward and provide a better life for its people, and his efforts throughout the world, which stretch back over 30 or 40 years, for all of this, Your Majesty, we take the greatest pride in welcoming you here. You do us honor, and I can assure you that there is no guest that we will receive in this country that will give a greater sense of livelier pride and satisfaction to the American people than your presence here today. Your Majesty, you're most welcome.
The Emperor replied. Mr. President, we are touched by your speech. Since we last visited the United States, there have been a large number of changes. America is a country of many different peoples from all parts of the world who have settled here. And one would not be mistaken if I called it a second home for all people.
ማንኛውም ሰው ሁለተኛ ሀገር መሆኑ የታወቀ ነው።
And then there was a state drive through the streets of Washington to the president's guest house. The people of the New World delighted to honor the ruler of one of the oldest lands in history, and nearly 200,000 people watched the procession. Just before lunch, His Imperial Majesty went aboard the Sequoia for a journey down the Potomac River. He was accompanied by Attorney General Robert Kennedy and the Chief Justice of the United States, Earl Warren. At the White House, he talked with President Kennedy. Nobody could have believed then that this man, called to lead his nation in troublous times, would in a few short weeks be dead. Already Kennedy, young in years yet old in wisdom, had made his impact on world affairs. His love of peace was the emperor's own, yet death was to claim him before his work was done. That evening, His Imperial Majesty returned to the White House, there to attend a state banquet given in his honor. His host was the president, and it was an occasion of pageantry and splendor. Peace, where once there threatened war. In 1963, he visited many lands. The book of his travels opened at the end of September, when he left his native Africa and the oldest of its lands to fly to the New World, to the United States of America. Washington awaited his coming. The land of Lincoln and all the power which it contains was his to command. Ever since the days of his dignified resistance to the fascist powers, his name has been a legend. And now preparations were made to honor him. President and Mrs. Kennedy were at the station as the train arrived. The young president greeted him. The man who, in his early 40s, had been called to lead the most powerful nation on earth, paid tribute to the emperor who had set an example to the world by his courage in the face of adversity and his single-minded determination to rebuild his land and set it on the road to progress once more.
Welcome to On the Scene with Patricia McDougall, on the scene, and my co-host Chamrad Madden from Little Ethiopia.
Yes, Little Ethiopia is in the house. Well, I just got back literally from New York. As you could see, I was on the ferry boat showing some video clips and all that fun stuff. But we have a special program today because we do have, I hope we have a special guest coming on. And he's going to tell you a little bit of why we played that video shortly. If you can do that, Tamara, that would be awesome.
Yeah, welcome everybody to our show. What you just saw, the video was about the iconic emperor of Ethiopia's 125th birthday. The emperor was very, very famous internationally, and he came to the United States 6 times on a state visit. Plus, he also attended the funeral of John F. Kennedy in 1963. So today is his celebration, the 125th celebration. We are expecting a member of the royal family is coming, but she hasn't been here. But we'll see when she comes. Maybe we'll bring her for a short while.
And then once we do that, do you want to show the pictures when she comes on?
Yeah, that would be fun. You can continue on yours now.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. Well, we have a lot to talk about. So if we can start the pictures that I sent earlier, just now, right? Can we do that? Okay, so anyway, so we're going to wait till his special guest comes on, because she's coming. Then we're going to talk about all this the stuff that he's been doing and with her, and talking about the emperor and all that fun stuff, right?
That's right.
Because they are celebrating in the Ethiopian country, right?
Ethiopian community in
Ethiopia. So we want to talk all about
the world,
it.
Plus
all over the world.
Rastafarians too, you know.
Well, we got some music for you now. So, but before we do that, we want to say a couple of things, and it might not go in the quite order, but we're going to show some video footage right now. Yes. They were up there in the Bethesda Jazz Club. That's Miss Denise, and they was up there jamming up in the Bethesda Club. And I mean, that was one of the the gentleman in the white. Can you also put my
going back to our high school days. College days. Some of y'all didn't even have no name. Let's go sing some heavy hitters now. Going back to our high school days. Going back to your college days. Some of y'all didn't even have no name. Let's go sing some heavy hitters now. Going back to our high school days. Going back to your college days. Some of y'all didn't even have no name. Sing some heavy hitters now. Going back to our high school days. Going back to your college.
Well, as you can clearly see, we have played that video clip like 5 times. But don't you worry, we have a new man on the scene, and he's doing his thing. So we appreciate you. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, so back to my photos again. That's Denise hanging out with the Shy Likes over there at the Bethesda Jazz. So we can show the other photos, please. And of course, as you can see, that's the group. I know we repeated that again, but that is the group. And they was definitely holding it down and performing live at the Bethesda Jazz Supper Club. And so there's a few pictures there. They're up, actually was performing, as you can see from that little video, you can actually see them performing live up there. So we had a wonderful time. So we want to just share a little bit of their footage. You can actually go to Patricia McDougal to my YouTube. That's me, of course. I always get a photo in there, of course, you know. And you can always go to my YouTube channel, because I did post another video that was really lengthy, and you could see the whole clip the video. Taman's giving out money, I can see. Taman, what are you doing?
I
You
was gonna
handing
buy
out
some drinks, okay?
He's handing out money. I'm telling you. Well, he can start with me. But anyway, we're gonna show the next set of pictures if we can. That would be awesome. We have a lot to do, and don't worry, just bear with us today. We'll get it together. We'll get the photos going.
Good.
And this special guest will be coming on the show today, no doubt
Hopefully.
about it.
Hopefully.
Yes, as you can see, we got a lot to show. So we can show, okay, so now this is Ariel. This is an event that I went to last week, and it was fabulous. It was at the MGM, and that's my girl in the middle, and I ain't gonna say all names again like I said. I don't like to mention everybody's name. But anyway, we was up in the house, and we were representing. And that gentleman right there, he's super fabulous. It was his 25th anniversary for his organization, Ariel. So as you could see, I was in the house representing and holding it down and making sure that they were highlighted very nicely. And as you can see the pictures, the who and who was in the house, the ladies and the gentlemen, of course, in the middle. We were definitely holding it down. The event was super fabulous. Food, I'm talking about MGM. I don't know if you ever eaten there, but they had every food, and Rashawn Baker was in the house. He was being represented big time. And so we want to give a big shout out. And I always get my photos, so I had to take a picture with him, right? But anyway, everybody was looking really nice. It was a nice evening. It was just a super fabulous event. So we just wanted to show a couple of pictures from the event over at the MGM. So we're going to move right along if that's all the pictures in that folder. And we're going to go right on to the next set of pictures. If we can do that, that would be awesome. And then we'll tell you where I was at the other night before that. I was all over the MGM that week, right?
So you just came from New York, right?
Literally, I was on the 1:30 bus.
Uh-huh.
And so, but it was nice. I just got in at 7 o'clock, and then the yellow line wasn't even working, so play the video again. So we just want to say we have a special guest with us today, but before we do that, can we play that video one more time? Look straight ahead. Pull your chest, come on, pull up. Push it here. There's a little button. Yes, Yes, we are back again, but we're going to get it together here. We have a special guest, like I said. I don't know what Tamara did with his mic. He must have got rid of it. Can you just introduce her very quickly? Then I'll come back to my video again.
Well, I have today
Bring it closer to you.
Princess Haile Selassie, who will be from the Ethiopian royal family, who will be speaking about today's event, which I already started earlier. Today is the 125th birthday of the iconic emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie I. We already showed you the video earlier about his historic visit to the United States for the second time with President John F. Kennedy. He gave him an amazing welcome. And the princess will give us a little bit about this.
Yes, but we're going to come back to her again. We just want to introduce her. Can you just say hello?
Oh, hello. Hello.
Yeah, she just arrived, and she's gonna. Yes, we're so happy to have you here today. But just give us a few minutes, and we're gonna come right back over to her because we were showing a video, and I don't want to I want to make sure that we continue back with that video and the photos from the video. If we could do that, that would be awesome. You can see Burris Hammond. He's a Jamaican fabulous artist, and he's doing wonderful things. He was actually at the Howard Theater, and of course, that is our famous DJ. He was doing his thing. Even Lester was in the house. He's always talking about him. Oh my God, what? And they were jamming, as you can clearly see from the pictures. I love this photo and this angle of this picture, and how he was playing the instruments. And it was just a fabulous event. I had a wonderful time, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Boris. He did a fabulous job up at the Howard Theater. He was actually holding it down. So I just want to give a big shout out to all the singers. As you can see, they were in the house being represented. And so it was just a wonderful event. But anyway, can we kind of move those pictures along? On there, and as you can see, that's a beautiful picture of him being represented, of course, doing his thing. And so we just love him. He turned it out. We were listening to some Caribbean, you mentioned Jamaican music, and that was awesome. Can we move over to the next set of pictures, please? That's okay. Just take your time. We're good. We're working with you today. I have all these mics. I don't quite know why, but it's all good.
You got another one there?
My goodness. You're making my head spin up in here today with all this stuff going on. But anyway, I did testing me. That's what it is. Everybody's testing me. So as you can see, Shantana had a wonderful event the other day, and she had all of the key players in there doing their thing. Can we kind of move the pictures a little bit? There's quite a few pictures in that folder, and we just want to keep it. And the sun was beautiful. This was actually at the MGM. And I had a wonderful time, and as you can see from the pictures, we had a fabulous time. Shantana was holding it down. It was her event. I want to give her kudos to her. And so they had a major artist out there, and that's my girl right there. She was holding it down. Everybody knows her, Renee. And so she said, take my picture, and I said, I got you. So, of course, we wanted to share that picture as well. And then they had some dancers. They had some beauty queens. They had, some of the artists there. And this was at the Feld. I called the Feld. Me, of course, I'm in the house, and Miss Virginia was in there as well, getting some footage in there. That particular day I was actually tired, but I said, you know what, I'm going to go out and show some love for my girl Shantana and show up, and I was glad I did because there was some nice people in the house, and we had a wonderful time. And so I just want to give a shout out to all who was there. Oh, that's Denise. And so as you can see from the picture, people were celebrating their birthday. They were just celebrating everything. And that's my girl from Howard. She always says, where's my picture? There you go. So we just want to move the pictures a little faster on there because we have a lot to show and we only have a few minutes. And there's quite a few pictures in that folder there. So as you can see, they were singing happy birthday, and then we were showing pictures, and we were just hanging out. We were just enjoying ourselves. It was really nice. There's G. G was actually talking. I was impressed. Usually you can't get 5 sentences out of him, but that day he was doing his thing, I guess because Shantana was being honored. I don't know, she was honored. She received something from the government, the state, or something like that. I'm not quite sure because I got there late. But anyway, this was the singers and the artists, and you'll have to congratulate her. She was doing her thing, and the group here who was singing, they were doing their thing, honey. And you can go to my YouTube channel again. I'm going to post a video of them performing, so you'll have to check back. And that's my man right there. He's supposed to be coming on my show soon. I hope, he didn't say when, but we'll have him on there one of these days, really, really soon. And I think we have one more picture that I'm actually in, so we don't want to forget that photo right there, right? And he was with the main singer. There's one other photo in there. If we can put that photo up there as well. We try to show all the photos. Of course, that's the #1 photo right there, so I had to show the photo. But anyway, let's move on over to the next set of pictures very quickly. And I think, did we do the one for, well, first of all, we want to show the photos for, can we hold it right there? Jim Vance, everybody knows Jim Vance in the blue. He passed. My condolences to everybody, the family,
yes.
the newscaster.
Yes,
He
we
did a
heard.
wonderful job with the news cast program, and so we just love him. We were going to give a condolences out to the family. There's some more pictures in the queue. If we can show them, that would be awesome. But we want to show our loves and just silence for that, and then show the rest of the photos, please. And like I said, he was a man. I took lots of pictures of him at the D.C. Chamber of Commerce. We did we used to do. I mean, I've seen him all over the place. I didn't even know he was, not himself. But anyway, much love to him, and my condolences to the family. So can we move it over to the next set of pictures, please? And that's the one for the Leonard Cole and Blunt in Fairfax. And so this is me, of course. I was on the big, YouTube. I had the big camera. I was doing my thing.
Wow,
So,
that's fantastic photograph.
I had to.
Well done.
I had to make sure I was in the house and on the scene doing my thing. As you can see, my brother in the back, he's very faint, but that's okay. He's in the house. He was taking photos. That was an evening, and that's Miss Jan. She was holding it down with Joe, and so it was just a fun night. I mean, it was all the way up in Fairfax. It was fall. I don't know how anybody could get out there in that time frame, but they need to have another one that holds it a little later. But it was an evening event, and it was really nice. And like I said, you can go to my YouTube, Patricia McDougal's YouTube channel. You're going to find a series of video there, and that's my girls up there. They were selling those CDs. I wanted to buy one, but the card wasn't working. But that's okay. Everybody was having a good time. The kids, everybody were dancing. We were having fun. And it was just a fun time. And those are the kids just having fun. As you can see, Leah, everybody knows Leah, my grandson and my nephew and everybody else. And these are the guys. That is Joe Blunt Coleman. I mean, they were doing their thing. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, I had a fabulous time out there, my little niece and everybody else. And so we were having fun. As you can see, it said on there was clips. Anyway, that's Jan and the whole group. The gang's all here, and I was in there having a wonderful time. As you can see, we was representing and holding it down. And Denise was there, I think, too, but she didn't take pictures that day. But that's okay. We had a wonderful time, and like I said, you can go to my YouTube channel. You can find that as well. And then the next set of pictures, if you don't mind showing those. And that's my little niece. She came to visit with me, and that's Miss Leah, and she is so precious. I just had to show that picture. I ain't even gonna lie. But anyway, there's a few others. It's a little upside down, but it's okay. You can see her. She's absolutely gorgeous. That's my brother Jamel's granddaughter. And I guess they'll figure it out to turn the pictures around. But for now, we're okay. You could just go to my Facebook page, and I'll show it to you straight up and down, right? So if we can move over to the next set of pictures, and we just want to give the last set, right? So if we can show those, that'll be awesome. And that's the OJ folder. And so we want to just say that I want to say that I'm happy that he's getting paroled and it was granted, and he's going to be getting out in October, because I think that, they just gave him that time because they felt that he deserved it. But I thought that it was ridiculous. So I'm really happy to hear that he is going to be released on parole, and I hope he can move on with his life. I mean, he deserves it. So I want to give, and these are just some footage from the TV. He was really happy to get the report that it was granted, and I'm really happy that it was granted. So I want to give some love to OJ, because we do love him, and we hope he's going to be back out there, and he's going to be all right, and to be able to live a normal life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to just talk about our special guest for the rest of the time. So we want to thank her if we can come out of there, and so if we can do that again and tell us her name.
Well, her name is Princess Haile Selassie, and I'm sure by now you have learned a lot about the Emperor. So you can ask her some questions.
You're supposed to give
many
me-
people were here many times in the past.
Well, you
So-
don't have to give me the questions like you said, but anyway, we're going to have her tell us a little bit about what she does. How about we do that? Yes,
Yeah,
please?
thank you.
Can you come closer to
Yes.
the mic? Yes.
Oh, thanks for having me. My goodness, it's an honor. I heard you talking, and you're amazing.
Thank you so
Honestly,
much.
you have
Thank
such
you.
a presence. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. Today is such an extraordinary day on Ethiopian calendar. It's the birth. It was the day that Emperor Haile Selassie was born 125 years ago.
Wow, wow.
And I'm really
So
honored
we're
to be
seeing those
here.
pictures that you showed earlier?
Yeah, well, they haven't
Who
shown
was
the
he with?
pictures. Can you show us some of the pictures, please?
Yeah, some of
They
the
did only
pictures
show,
in
yeah, there it is.
So is that him there?
Yes, that's him.
So how old would he
that
have
was
been?
that was the last. He's probably in his 70s. That's the last state visit that he had
Wow.
in United
so he was with
States.
Kennedy.
The second.
Uh-huh.
The
He's
se-
the
no,
second
no, no,
state
I
visit.
said the last.
The last
The,
one,
the last
right,
state
yes.
visit. The last
Yes.
state visit in United States. State visit. He
Wow.
visited afterwards, but this was the
Okay.
last state visit. And this is very, very iconic photograph, the late John F. Kennedy, which he
Yes.
was assassinated a week after.
Oh, my
Yes,
goodness.
November. Yes, the
wow.
emperor went
So he
back.
came back. He went back and then he
Came
came
back.
back.
No,
Oh,
he
yeah.
didn't. The plane didn't even arrive properly in Asmara. He was told he was assassinated.
Oh my.
They refueled the plane, changed clothes, and came back for the funeral.
Oh,
He was
my goodness.
devastated.
Oh, I'm sure he
Very,
was.
very iconic.
So this was a week. You said prior
November.
to, right, and right after that. So these are some of the last photos here.
The last also state visit
Wow.
for the president of the United States at that time,
Oh my goodness.
John F. Kennedy.
So where did you get these photos from? I guess you archived.
Yes,
From New York Times.
Okay, so
New
they're
York
just
Times.
various photos from different areas.
They
Okay.
have it at Kennedy Center as well.
You know?
They have it at Kennedy Center as well.
No, it's very nice.
Yes,
I was actually
yes.
watching the pictures for the first time, and
Yes.
and he's from Ethiopia, right? And so Emperor, right?
Yes,
Correct?
Emperor
And so the gentleman behind him, is he part of the?
He's ADC, he's security, and his son, Prince Haile Selassie,
Okay.
and also Princess Ruth Desta,
Okay.
that accompanied him, his granddaughter.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's something else.
Yes, it's very colorful. Every Americans in Washington who witnessed this talks about it till this time.
Oh my goodness!
It was like
wow.
Ethiopian flag, all over Washington D.C.
So
and
tell
with
me-
open,
See?
yeah.
Open.
They were driving.
He was in the car when it was coming around here. Wow.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Yes,
was
he
it
was
for
on-
him or who was this for? For him to
for
show?
him.
For him,
Oh,
yes.
wow,
State
wow.
visit
A state
normally
visit.
when a head of state comes as a state visit, it's going to be a standstill. It's going to be honoring that guest. It's all about cultural exchange. They will be visiting United States.
And this
then
is
they'll
in the
be-
United States?
This is Washington D.C.
Oh my goodness! Well,
Yeah.
you know they don't. I don't think they have.
This
that
is in
anymore.
Massachusetts Avenue.
I
that
don't
you
see that
Yep,
now.
yep,
State
you don't.
visits they come and they definitely
Well,
don't drive around in a.
Oh, I quite understand because
Right?
the,
It's
the, the
terrible.
the president had been shot in open car, so it's no
yes.
longer allowed for security
This is
reason.
At Martin Luther King's statue, he was present putting.
Oh, that was so nice. Yes.
He came in 1968 for the.
1968, you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
68, and he was, yes, 1968 and 1963, yeah.
What is that?
Oh, he came in 1968.
1968. Yeah.
He was here. Yeah.
So tell me, what is your role in all of this? I know he's from your country and he's the emperor. Tell us a little bit about
Well,
that.
I'm a community leader, and I was the patron of Haile Selassie Foundation for many years.
Okay.
But now the Haile Selassie Foundation is now in Addis Ababa supporting young people, mentoring into leadership, and keeping the legacy of the emperor.
Okay.
And Emperor Haile Selassie is not only actually for Ethiopians. He ruled Ethiopia for 6 decades, and he is one of the most famous 20th century statesmen. So he does have followers all over the world.
Wow.
The
Wow.
Rastafarians, I don't know if you
Oh,
know if they have it in
yes.
Belize, but
Oh, they have them in
the
Belize?
Rastafarians
Absolutely, yes.
actually are now getting a lot of respect because keeping up the Ethiopian flag and his legacy.
I'll see. I actually was just telling him. I just played that video. It was Rastafarian. You know, he's big. Boris Hammond. He plays the Rasta music, and he's like a big guy over there, right?
yeah.
I don't know if he's ever been to your country. I'm sure he has. I mean, he's huge. Yeah, right. That's what he plays. You ever heard of
Yeah.
him before?
I never have.
Yes, yeah. So he's that's a culture in the music. So I'm sure he's.
Let
been to
me, let
the
me ask you a
country.
quick question. What is the emperor's importance here in Washington and the United States?
Right.
As you know, Washington D.C. is a sister city of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and that was signed in December 2013 by the former mayor, and there is a big interest internationally about the emperor, especially as I mentioned earlier, the emperor came to the United States made 6 state visits. One starting
That's a
in
lot,
1954 with Eisenhower, then 1963 John F. Kennedy, next was Johnson, and then he had 3 times with Nixon, and then of course he came for the final. But every time he was here, right from the beginning, he has received one of the greatest respect and welcome for the head of state.
I see.
Twice in New York, there was special parade for him.
In New York too?
New
Wow.
York. So they said, I mean, it's very, very unusual on him. And here, also in Washington, D.C., he was given the award of the doctorate degree from Howard University. Even
Howard too, wow.
the district's commissioner gave him the key of the city. So he has got a very big impact. So I'd like you to say a little bit of about him, especially his involvement in helping the freedom fighters in the world, especially, about Mandela. I mean, Mandela was trained in Ethiopia to go in the fight. So I want you to touch here, because especially you are involved with not only in the United States, you're also involved in England. So if you could give us some
England too. Wow. Wow, that's very nice.
Well, thank you. It's very difficult to say very little about this great man, and it's not only about the state visit, but Emperor Haile Selassie was very visionary, very simple man, but he always doing such an extraordinary thing long before the world woke up.
I see.
How important it was to unite, the Black African countries. Today today is 125 years of his birthday, but he was born in the late 1892. Yes.
1892.
1892.
Okay.
But at that time, when he was even reigning, he was regent at 12. He was a leader through and through since in his early ages.
Right.
But the most important thing that we all should know, long before the world Mandela,
oh yes,
that he was the one supporting Mandela, and the black cause was very close to his heart, and not by actually, beating the drum and say, let's just help the ANC. But that's not what he was doing. He was actually inviting Nelson Mandela. He was helping him organize the soldiers.
Okay.
Any African leaders at that time
was that
that was Madiba when at early stage he was Addis Ababa. Yes,
1960.
yes.
Right.
Ethiopia was his second home. He was providing him whatever things necessary. He was very much involved on the plight of Black Africans who were still colonized.
I see.
And he played such a big role. That is the most important thing that the world should know. And I was very surprised, the last 30 years, even long before Nelson Mandela was released, that everybody's cause was there to support, the South African blacks, for them to have a voting power. But Ethiopia was like 50, 60 years before were supporting.
Wow.
And that was who was leading that role was the emperor.
Wow, he had a big
So,
influence. Is that the emperor here? Yeah.
No, that's a colonel.
Oh,
The colonel.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's
for
very
sure.
important that he has like a unifying power, to put the world together. It's not even along a color line.
Okay.
Just another thing that he had done is a very iconic speech that he done was on League of Nations when Italian invaded Ethiopia. He left the country
In 1936.
in 1936.
history.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, he left.
Right.
He left the country in 1936, went in exile in England, but he went to League of Nations and make them embarrassed.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
League of Nations means to help countries not to be invaded by a bigger country.
I see.
And
I see.
and that the League of Nations is supposed to take the role to protect the territorial integrity of any country or from aggressors. And at that time, a lot of countries didn't pay attention because Hitler is becoming very powerful,
Right.
and a lot of European countries are looking at colonizing the continent of Africa. And he was already understood that this was such a dangerous precedent if they were not stopping
Wow.
the Italian aggression. And he stayed 4 years in exile in Bath, England. And then afterwards, the world woke up that little emperor, what he did say that was like a prophecy.
Wow.
That there's the German and the Italians were not only going to stop in being aggressive in small countries, but they were going to have a higher evil plan that they were hatching together. Because of that, the emperor managed, with the help of the English, and Churchill actually played a big role, but the English helped him to go back and get his country free from the Italian invasion. That is extraordinary. On its own, it should be like a subject of a curriculum.
Wow.
I like to say one thing here. One of the things that made him really, really very famous around the world
Yes.
was the prophetic statement he
Exactly.
What did he
said,
say?
"It is us today, it's you tomorrow."
I like
That's
that.
what
I
he
like
says
that.
in
Yeah.
1936.
Us
Within
today.
3 years, Europe started burning.
Is that right?
Literally,
It's
yeah,
true.
exactly. That's what happened.
true.
You know what happened was the members, as a member, one of the founding members of the League, they appealed for the League of Nations that the Italians are using chemical war against the people of Ethiopia, killing Ethiopians by chemical
Oh
war.
my goodness.
They didn't stop. They said
Genocide.
they didn't sanction.
Genocide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They said
all over.
they said there is sanction, but they didn't do real sanction. What they could have done was they could have blocked the Suez Canal
I
or
see.
stopped giving oil, and they could have stopped and saved a lot of life.
Wow.
That's what happened.
Wow.
Okay, and then what I'd like to add, what she's speaking is,
Saying,
the President Kennedy gave him such an amazing speech,
Oh.
and that's why in 2000,
Did you play that?
Yeah, you played it.
Okay.
And
Yes.
that's why in
That's true.
2015,
That's true.
Little Ethiopia honored him by having one of his member of his organization to come and place wreath, because he did a wonderful welcome to the emperor in Africa. And you know why he did that?
Why did
he
he do
saw
that?
at that time because the emperor had an opportunity to organize the Organization of African Unity, where 32 African nations came together because of him.
Wow.
So he's got an amazing work. But unfortunately, because of the current situations of Ethiopians fighting among themselves,
It's
and
sad.
political issues, which is common, he is being forgotten. So that's what we are trying
To bring it up and talk about it. Right, of
And that's
course,
why
of
you have
course.
attended many of our wreath laying
Oh,
ceremonies.
is that what that
That's
is?
what it is. Okay, the one
Yes,
we are
I
doing
have.
here.
He brings me there all the time.
Yes,
and
that's
I'm
May,
telling-
yes, May
oh, my
27
goodness.
is the day he
When
came
is
back
it?
to the that's May 5. The May
I
5, everything we do
see.
is, you remember you were there last
I
time.
was
when
there,
so
yes,
that's what we are doing. That's what we'd like to honor him. So I'm gonna
Wow.
let the princess add some more.
Yes, please do. Absolutely. So tell us, do you live here in the States or you live?
Yes, I was in England with my 2 children, and now I'm
So you
here
have
in
your
North
accent?
Virginia. Yes,
Yes. Uh-huh.
and we are here in North Virginia now,
Yes.
and we enjoyed being with among the Ethiopian community, the largest in the world.
In D.C.
In the world,
Oh my good.
the
goodness.
largest
wow.
diaspora.
Yes.
So we
in
love
the
it
area
here. Yes, the
You
Greater
know,
Washington area.
That's so funny because that's what my brother said. He says, I think you have the Ethiopians, there's more here than anywhere.
He's quite right.
And I said, you know what, I'm going to ask you that. So you just answered that question. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
We love.
That right,
being
little
here.
Ethiopia right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't see the article we
Yes.
put last time?
Yes.
Didn't you see the article? You said
yes.
that about
What
5 or
was
6
it?
restaurants were selected to best Ethiopian foods. One of them is This is Little Ethiopia, Churches.
Churches, did you go?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
we
hope
know
to get
him.
to that one.
Yeah, we have to get her to a good Ethiopian.
Yeah.
Yes, a good
Yeah.
Ethiopian, because I like
Yeah.
injera.
We'll take you
Not
now.
only
We're going to
that,
celebrate. We're going to celebrate now.
And maybe we should take her to the nightclub so show her the dance as well.
Yeah,
I
of
know
course,
how they do the shoulder like this.
Yeah.
I already know.
Yes, we
I
must.
have some friends. I have some
we
Ethiopian
must.
friends. Yes.
We
My
must.
girl Rahel Tububu, she's my good friend.
Yes,
And
fantastic.
Zodi too, Casa High.
Oh, wow.
I have to give a shout out to both of them.
Yes,
So
well,
tell
we're
us
gonna-
what you're planning to do. You are planning to do some event, right? Coming up on August 5, you told me August 5.
August? Oh, I don't know. That's tricky for me, but yes, go
Well,
ahead.
what's happening is with their young
Is it a Saturday?
no, Saturday, yeah, there is young Ethiopian Rastas that who really closely follow the legacy of the emperor.
Wow.
So they're organizing to observe the birthday, but this is more very intellectual roundtable. There will be a lot of discussion group. This discussion group is actually to leave something to the next generation, to connect the next generation with the work of the legacy the emperor had done. So it's very important that that we be present with them.
You are
Okay,
invited.
okay.
You are
Oh,
invited.
no, well, I can't make it on the 5th. Is this August?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that August 5?
Is it August 5? Yeah. Is it in the day or on the night?
In the day.
At the day, like 12 o'clock noon or something?
Yeah,
I might
lunch,
be able-
lunch.
Oh, lunch. Yeah, I could do the lunch, but in the lunch
Okay.
after, I have
Yeah,
to
lunch, you
leave.
come. Oh, we need you.
6
No,
o'clock.
we need you,
Yeah. Oh, you
yeah.
need me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I have to check my schedule, but I think I'm free in the day.
You know, you
So-
might even be in Ethiopian, your ancestors, because you look Ethiopian.
I could be.
You
How
have to
about
check-
that?
you have to
I
check
have
her
to check
DNA.
my DNA. I might be related to you guys. Well,
Yes,
in England, I have a
yes.
lot of
Well,
relatives
Ethiopia
in
is the
England.
cradle of humanity,
Yes.
so you are.
I am.
Okay.
That's right. You never
Extraordinary,
know. It's a small
yeah.
world. I
It
do
is,
look
it
like
is.
Ethiopian,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
we could be relatives right about now,
Right, honestly.
So you like it here? Your kids like it here? The family, everybody? Yeah.
America is a great country.
It's yes.
So, no, I don't know about where we're going right now. I'm really
I
shocked.
totally agree.
I'm really shocked.
won't
What
see-
happened lately, but that's another topic on its own. But this is a great country.
Yes.
We love it.
We had a very, very great welcome to the United States. When I came 42 years ago, we had to campaign to get acceptance by United States government and Congress.
Right.
And it was amazing when we had a problem with the United States government, the Congress, a bipartisan group of 60 of them signed
Wow.
in support of us. And since then, really, we had a great welcome to the United States, so we can't complain much.
Well, I'm
Because,
telling you.
We are becoming really, assimilated now. You see, our food is well known.
Oh, it's definitely well
Our
known.
dances
Yes.
are well known. You met
Yes.
some of the guys like Thomas. He's
I have.
an African American. He mastered the dance and everything. So
I
that
would
is
like
what
to.
they- yeah.
I would like to bring one of the artists here on the show
I'll bring them.
and have them perform.
Yeah.
That would
And
have
I
been
would like for them
fantastic.
to do the dance, you know,
Yeah.
with the shoulders. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly, yeah.
So we can show the culture about, because he's always bringing on and giving us exposure and the experience
Yeah.
of, and he shows so much footage. I'm telling you, I would like to be able to do that on the show.
Yeah, we can do it.
No, it's
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
food, food and entertainment will always have a lasting impression on people's mind.
That's right.
It's very important because we can lecture the whole day, but
Right.
people wouldn't remember.
They wouldn't remember.
Yes, but when they
right.
taste the
it,
food,
yes.
when they actually see the performance,
Yes.
which we have, I think we need another session
We
for
have
our
to.
food and for our
Yes.
entertainment because it's nowhere. The Ethiopian culture is so unique.
It is. I
So,
know.
and nobody eats the food that we're eating. The grain that we're using
Yes.
is only very particular for Ethiopian staple.
Wow.
This is a grain that's
right.
called
Is
the
that how they
superfood.
make it?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So that honestly, that's another program.
I think you're going to have to arrange
Yeah.
that.
Yes, we
Yeah.
must. Honestly,
We get
No,
the
but-
dancer, then we get
No,
the food,
yes.
and we'll get one of the restaurants
Yes.
to come and
Yes.
and then we'll invite the community.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
No,
Laura.
but honestly, that itself is such an untouched
Right.
subject. That's it's extraordinary. The food
Wow.
itself.
Oh, well, I've tasted it.
yes.
I can tell you about it in
Yes.
Jared
You know, I
and
mean,
all the food. He took me
we
to a
had-
nice
yeah,
restaurant.
exactly, yeah, been there.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then somebody wrote on the Washington Post magazine,
About
if
which one?
anyone in Washington don't know that Ethiopian food is a late night culture.
Oh, it is.
They're not from Washington.
They
That's
are
what she
not.
said.
Oh,
yeah,
that
because
was-
even they said in the Congress and the White House when they stay late, they said like, let's go for Ethiopian because they go and eat it by their hand. When the news that broke out at the White House when the president were having an affair with Monica Lewinsky, the first lady couldn't stand the White House, so she had a group of people went to Georgetown at Zed's restaurant. So the
late night,
the
right?
late night, they
Yes.
all were having Ethiopian food, and all the media was capturing, that moment. Yeah, so
Wow.
I
So
mean,
tell it,
because
we only have a
very, very interesting culture.
very interesting. Yeah, very old
We
as
have
well.
thousands of
Very.
years, So,
right. So we just want to
I
say.
I have something to add. Her event is on the 5th. On the 6th, we'll have special celebration, the life of Council Member Jim Graham. We'll talk about it.
Well, that would be
Yes,
awesome.
yes, we'll
So
do that.
thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for
Tell us
having
where
us.
they can find you. I know we can find you through you, but
Yeah,
you know,
littleethiopia.org.
Yes.
littleethiopia.org.
Right.
Or
Absolutely.
Email is littleethiopia@gmail.com. I
And-
make easy life.
And for me, everybody knows, Patricia McDougal on the scene, celebrity photographer. The show is here every Sunday at 2 o'clock. We're going to actually have you come back and we're going to have some
Thank you.
Ethiopia
We'll bring her
food
Absolutely.
and everything else in between. And so we want to thank you both for, of course, my co-host,
Absolutely.
and
Thank
you
you.
for joining us
Thank
on
you
the
very
show.
much.
And we also want to thank you for sharing all the footage that you did today. And I just want to say one thing before we close it out. My girlfriend Lorraine is doing much better. She's in New York. I went to see her. I got in at 10 o'clock at night, and I got back, and I went to see her for 3 hours. She's still in the hospital. She has a trach, but just her prayers are still needed. So please, she's doing much better. She was actually walking yesterday, and she was breathing on her own for the whole day, and then they gave her back, the machine to help her breathe. So I want to give a shout out to Lorraine, and I promised I would come back and see her really, really soon, and so she can get your best wishes to her speedy recovery. So thank you for coming on today. We appreciate that, and we're going to chime out with that. Patricia McDougal on the scene.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we love to.
Are you
Maybe
gonna
we can
come?
have the
Would you
Ethiopian
come
food.
next week?
If we
Yes.
can, if we could
Yes.
play that video of that
Sunday.
Boris, that would be nice to end
We'll
it.
let them know. Yes, we'll
Okay.
organize.
Okay.
We'll
Great,
organize.
great. Thank you
for
so much,
having us.
my
This is
co-host.
fantastic.
Yes,
My
wait.
police co-host.
Wait, we're still on the